What's going on, everybody? This is 7 o'clock from the Fantasy Football Bootcamp, and you're stepping into the Warzone.
Let's get ready to rumble. Step into the Warzone. 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 Step into the Warzone.
What's going on, everybody? And welcome to the Warzone. I'm Joe Morley. This is Mike on the mic, and today we got a special guest for you. It's the man who's going to help everybody in fantasy football, help you learn, help teach you how to play fantasy football correctly. He's the mellow half. I call him the mellow half of Fantasy Football Bootcamp, the man of faith and his family from the Warzone Sports Network, our own Christopher Owens, a.k.a. 7 o'clock.
What's going on, everybody? Let's get it. Let's get it.
Now, we've been trying to get you on here for a while. We know you've been busy doing the Fantasy Bootcamp with Piggy, Kevin over there. You guys are on episode 4. So you guys are doing the commandments right now. You guys are doing it. Are you having fun doing that show?
I am. They say if you really love it, you'll do it for free. And obviously, Warzone, we're not making money yet, so I'm doing it for free for the love of the game. So I'm having a blast, man. I'm honored that Kevin chose me to be his co-host, and I'm thankful for you guys to give him the platform. And I'm ready to kick some butt, and I'm ready to help some people get to the promised land.
Wait,
I'm just glad you're on the team. Wait. Are you getting paid, Joe?
Wait, no. I thought
you
were
lying.
Oh. The plot thickens.
Nah, like you said, we're all working for one goal to get there one day. But it's kind of what we're doing. But yeah, I'm glad that you got a good co-host. Me?
Here we go.
Oh man, yeah, you got a terrible co-host, Joe. You should trade. Me and Kevin should trade spots, and I'll go over there with 7. I think that'll be better for the network anyway.
Whoever wins the rubber match gets to be my co-host, and whoever loses gets to go with Joe.
But if me on a fantasy show, like, I guess I'll give bad advice. I'd be like the Tony Tucker of fantasy football advice. Would be losing every week.
Hey, you know what? On those Warzone lives, I've seen your teams, Joe. You trying to play the role, but you're no Kaiser Sose, bro. I know you're the real villain behind the plot. I've seen your teams, because I look at everyone's team. I go back and I study everyone's methods, and I want to memorize everyone's tendencies. You got something. You got something brewing, Joe. So me and Piggy already talked about you, bro.
No.
You can try with the chubby smiley face and all cuddly. No, we know you're a killer, bro.
The only thing that's wrong with Joe Morley and his fantasy football draft.
See, look.
Nah, he's not. It's not gonna happen. You know why? 'Cause he's not good under pressure. That's the problem. He's good in these little relaxed ones where you're sitting back and he's like, ha ha ha, Brian Bolster's bald. But when we get the serious stuff on, that's when it's gonna go wrong.
I have fun Mike's kind of correct. When we're doing mock drafts, I kind of go a little bit out. And then when we actually do it, sometimes I'll second guess myself in a real draft. And last year I told myself, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do that. Go with my gut. Even if I feel that I'm going to draft somebody too high, just do it. Do it. And I went with it, and I won my league that I've been in for a couple years now. It's been like 8 years. Finally got it. Finally won the trophy. So I'm happy about that. But now I could cheat just a little bit more in my fantasy leagues by listening to you and Piggy every Saturday morning.
For sure. Let me ask you this. Have either one of you guys ever done a live draft?
Yeah, I've done a few. When you're in the middle of the ocean floating around, it's kind of your only option.
Joe,
but it falls apart.
Like a live in-person draft, we do it all the time.
Okay.
I'm trying to remember the app that we do. We've had this one that it plays the music as you come up. So it would put it's a projected on the screen, right on the wall, and it'd be like 7's on the clock, and then every time you come on the clock, it will say something about your team, and it will show your logo or your picture, and then it will play your music while you're drafting, and then it will announce it like 7 selects Christian McCaffrey, running back. And we had that one for the last 2 years, but I can't think of the name. I would give it a shout out right now because I like it and it's real cheap.
It sounds cool.
Yeah, it's a lot of work for the commissioner. I think because the commissioners has to input everything, but it works out. It's fun. It makes it fun.
Can I pick my music?
Ooh,
Like
look at you.
Like it has 3 songs, so I tell everybody, hey, send me 3 songs. So
I'm not your boy toy.
YouTube
just
just copyrighted us right now.
I know, right?
We're good. Don't say the C word, Joe. It's one too many.
YouTube just got us right now. Shawn Michaels. He's the real Shawn Michaels, though. Come on. But yeah, fantasy football boot camp every Saturday morning with you and Kevin Piggy Bank Picks. Right now, you guys are, like I said, you're on episode 4. You're going through the commandments. Can you give us the 4 that you have already said?
So we've gone 3. We're recording 4 tonight, and we're actually going to take a break from this week, so we don't have a 4th commandment. But the first 3, the most important commandment would be 1, get your running backs early and get them often. Can't express this enough. If you're new to fantasy, if you're a veteran, you got to get them because as the NFL is changing and transforming, a lot of teams are going to a committee approach, which that means is just they're using multiple backs. So it's hard to get a guy who touches the ball 260 plus times, which I would probably consider a workhorse. So with that being so limited, you have to get them, pick those guys early, and then you can worry about their other positions later on. The second commandment, I'm drawing a blank. Oh, the best ability is availability. People tend to clamor to these big names, even though these guys might be injured and maybe not be the best in the best shape or the best performance, the best version of themselves. A lot of people still ignore all the signs and still draft that guy where he's projected or even earlier. But I mean, fantasy football is a grind from week to week to week to hopefully, if you're in a 12-team league, top 6 make the playoffs. You need consistency. You don't want to draft these guys who are like Antonio Gibson, who's coming into the season already with a turf toe injury lingering from last year. And then this guy's going to go through all camp. He's going to miss some time. You're going to spend a 2nd-round draft pick on him. The best ability is availability. There's plenty of talent surrounding that 2nd round that you don't need to take a chance on a guy like that. Last but not least, is don't panic. Do mock drafts. Watch the boot camp. We are here to usher you from the pits of fantasy football hell and try to get you to the gates, to the promised land. And a lot of people tend to panic. It's like you mentioned about yourself. A lot of people tend to sweat, especially in these live drafts. That's why I was asking you guys, have you ever been in a live draft? A lot of people tend to get nervous. So just don't panic, man. Relax. If you're drafting in 3 spots, you should have 3 names looked at that you're planning on drafting. So that way, process of elimination, whoever's available, then already know who you're drafting. Try to, preparation. If you've done it multiple times, if you've practiced it, if you've manifested it, it's not an issue. So those are the 3 commandments that we have so far.
I love it. I love it. And like you were saying, this advice can stretch out to people that have experience as well. I know I'm a little bit younger than everyone else, but I still got about 10 years under the belt. Started when I was, a young teenage Mike on the mic. I don't have enough trophies in my trophy case for playing for 10 years, to tell you that much. And I'm kind of stepping up my level of competition this year, throwing myself into this sphere of people who actually know what they're doing.
And don't put me in that category of people that know what we're doing, because I don't know anything. I do.
You just showed.
I have a belt. I have a belt, but that's like from my friends and family. We have a great time. Like, I'm gonna be focused on fantasy football boot camp all the way till I can. And you talk mock drafts. I think last year I did the most mock drafts I've ever done going into it. So I think that helped me out a lot too, like you said. And guys, we're doing mock draft Mondays every Monday from here on out until football season. Hopefully, unless something happens on a Monday, we will be doing mock draft Mondays. You're in there, 7. I'm in there. Mike's in there. Piggy's in there. Jay the Plug's in there. A lot of big names are in there, and we're showing you how. Like last week, I took Henry number 1, and would I do that in a real draft? Probably not. But can we show what would happen if Derrick Henry did go number 1? Because some people do crazy stuff when it comes to drafts.
Yeah, man. The mock draft is where it's done. I personally like Fantasy Pros Draft Wizard app. It's a unique tool that lets you get the experience of a mock draft, and it takes different players kind of within the range, and you can run through mocks without the human aspect. I recommend doing like 1 or 2. You can take it maybe, I want to say it takes maybe like 5 minutes. I don't even go through the full draft. I usually stop like after the 8th. I never take like a defense or a kicker. I get like the first 8 rounds. But Fantasy Pros Draft Wizard, they're not paying us, but I'll give a little dime. I'm stingy. This whole like sharing fantasy advice is so foreign to me because I'm not an advisor. I'm an enthusiast. Piggy's an advisor. Jay the Plug's an advisor. I'm a competitor.
You're a fan.
Yeah. I'm a fanalist. I don't share my secrets with people, but Fantasy Pros Draft Wizard, it's a free app, and it's so easy. I would recommend it for those who are consistently not making the playoffs.
What's that old commercial? It's so easy, a caveman can do it.
Mm-hmm. Geico. Shout out to Geico. Send us that check.
Yeah.
You're Jay the Plug, or Jay the Plug is like Skip Bayless, and you're like Tom Brady or Aaron Rodgers or Patrick Mahomes. You're playing the game. They're just, talking about the game.
Yeah.
Speaking about playing the game, we know that your favorite team is the Pittsburgh Steelers, right? So, hey, one of the best coaches in the league. You can't complain about Mike Tomlin over there. Dude has never had a losing season, continues to move it up. But I got to ask you, Big Ben coming back.
Yeah.
Did you want that?
Yes and no, because they didn't have an heir apparent. That's the only reason. I think, I'm actually doing research for boot camp, and I've got Star Wars on, and Star Wars is always about like the master and the knight and the Padawan. And I'm watching the cartoon. I can't think what it's called. Help me out, Mike. Star Wars, Clone Wars on Disney Plus. So, you're not, geez, I figured the youth, you might throw me a, never mind. Anyway.
They called you a nerd, Mike, right there.
Yeah, that's what he was.
No, I just young. I feel like that was like, there might have been a connection.
Star Wars.
Making the Star Wars movies, that was like pretty recent, right? Like
it's a series. It's an animated series. It's like a cartoon, like a digital. It's neither here nor there. It's all about apprentices and whatnot. And I would have liked Ben to been like that Obi-Wan to Dwayne Haskins, or it's just someone. So we need him to pass the torch. I don't want him just to like leave. Favre, Rodgers had Favre. Jordan Love has Rodgers.
Oh yeah.
I would like Steve Young had Montana. I would like to have like the next guy in line and have like that knowledge passed on. I don't want him to just go, Thanos snap and him just disappear without a heir apparent.
Hey, 7.
One more year. That's it.
It worked out for the Chargers. We were just like, go ahead, Phil. We don't got no one else that could replace you.
Right.
We'll figure it out.
You guys got lucky, man. You guys got lucky.
Lucky as it gets. As lucky as it gets.
Like, who knew he was going to be that good?
No one. Not even.
Well, 7, you brought it up. You have Dwayne Haskins in camp. You have Dwayne Haskins on the team. He was a first round pick, number 15 overall.
Yeah.
There's some talent there, right? If anybody's going to get him straight, it could be Mike Tomlin. And everything I've read on him in camps, Big Ben is praising him. A lot of people are talking good about him. Do you think that it was a wake-up call to get cut by the Redskins, which we're finding out is a horrible organization, or was at that time, and now going to a great organization with the history of turning players around? Do you think Haskins could be that next guy in line?
I loved it. When you think about the Dolphins stupidly gave away a second-round pick for Josh Rosen, and we got Dwayne Haskins for a bottle of Crackle Jack and Earl Stevens selection. Shout out to E40. We got him for a bottle of wine, Mango Moscato, and a Snickers bar. I love it. Obviously, he has to have the talent if he was a first-round pick, and he was supposed to go 6 to New York, but they took Danny Dimes. Defense is really, really good and really young, so he wouldn't even need to be asked to do a whole lot, kind of like a Tannehill or even like a Trent Dilfer, who you just don't turn the ball over and let the defense take care of it. You got Najee Harris. So I love it. I'm hoping that that's the mentorship I was just recently talking about, where Ben can pass some game on to him. and he can step in next year and be the guy. So that's why I'm happy Ben came back for one more year. We can have that baton year, and then hopefully Dwayne can live up to the potential. And also just, I think it was a maturity issue, and I think they're definitely going to hold him accountable.
I'm with it. And hearing the good things out of camp is a good thing for him, because I wasn't sure if he was going to make the roster or not, honestly, because they've had guys there that are backup, but they're like veteran backups.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, if you're going against Chase Daniel and you're the backup, you're probably not winning. Or if you're going against Chad Henne, you're probably not winning. So these guys, yes, they're backups, but they've been in the league for 10 years still. But hearing good stuff out of camp, it looks like he's probably going to be at least the QB3, maybe QB2 for the year.
Yeah.
There's not a lot of strip clubs in Pittsburgh. I don't know. I've never been there. So if you get the strip clubs out, Haskins, don't go to the strip club. You'll be all right. Learn. Big Ben went through his problems at the beginning of his career. He turned it around. Look what he's doing. I am a Haskins believer. I do like him just the same way I am a Winston believer. So, I'm Derek Carr believer. So maybe my quarterback guru is not there, but I like Haskins. I remember when he did his pro day, and I watched all the pro days that year, and I was like, he's the best one, but that was in shorts and a t-shirt. Like I said, I think Washington set him in the wrong direction. I think he's learned from it. Hopefully he becomes that guy. Look at the wide receiver core. They have one of the best wide receiver cores. Juju Smith came back, or would you expecting him to come back? Are you liking Chase Claypool going into the second year? And your guy Deontay Johnson, can he stay healthy and stop dropping the damn ball?
I know, right? Yeah, the receiving core is good, and they got Baby Gronk in the second round to pair him with Ebron. They have, I think, as good as weapons as anyone can ask for. It's just about putting it together.
The offensive line, I'm kind of iffy about that offensive line, and the defense. We never worry about the Pittsburgh defense, right? We never worry about them, but they did lose Bud Dupree.
Right.
They did cut Steven Nelson, so they got a little bit of questions on defense. But for some reason, they always seem to like find somebody to fill in the gap.
I mean, that's just the model. It's the next guy up. When you think about the receivers, they've had Hines Ward, they had Plexico Burrs, Antoine Randall, Mike Wallace. I mean, Martavius Bryant. That's just the model. It's just next guy fills in. I feel like they've always had like a solid linebacker or receiver every year come out of nowhere, like a fourth rounder who just plays out of this world. So that's just, it's next man up. That's the culture.
It seems like it. That's a part of the Mike Tomlin coaching. It's a part of the Mike Tomlin system, is he knows where to find his guys. He knows what guys hold on to. Don't think they're going to let TJ Watt walk. There's a reason for it, because TJ Watt's way better than Bud Dupree. So it's a part of the building blocks of that system that they got going there. It's been so successful for 15 years. It's ridiculous.
Yeah. Well, not they've been lucky with coaches. This is like their third coach in what, 50 years or something like that.
Yeah.
Like they hold on. They're a family. They know what it means that you have to be patient and let your coaches coach and get there, and you're going to have troubles, and they know that. So I do respect the Pittsburgh organization for that, even though I am a Raider fan, and they did screw the Raiders a couple of times, like, the immaculate
reception.
Who hasn't screwed the Raiders, Joe? Who hasn't screwed the Raiders at some point?
There's a lot of people, but I'm just saying.
Which one hurts more, Joe? The immaculate reception or the tuck rule?
Hurts me personally is the tuck rule, because I was old enough. I wasn't around for the immaculate reception, so that one doesn't hurt me as much. But they both hurt, man. They both hurt. What, Mike? I see you laughing over there.
I got nothing. I'm a Chargers fan, so every season hurts.
Let me ask you about the running back, your first round pick, Najee Harris. Happy for that?
Yes and no. I felt like there was a lot of talented running backs in this draft, and they could have waited. There were other pressing needs, but that was one of the major needs. They addressed it. So it wasn't like, it's kind of like with you guys, like maybe that wasn't the guy, but you filled a need with your first round pick. So you're never going to be mad about it. He's like extremely talented, but just that position in itself, you can find good running backs in the second and third round.
Joe was pretty mad. Joe was pretty mad about it. Let's not forget about that.
Yeah, I was mad about Alex Leatherwood. I'm getting over it, because it is an offensive line, and you know what? Najee Harris wouldn't have been Najee Harris without him. Just so you know. But Najee Harris has come out and he said that he can do everything that Le'Veon Bell did with the Steelers and probably do it better.
He doesn't have the same line.
Yeah.
You know, that line allowed Le'Veon to be patient and wait for things to open up and rush. Because it seems like he would just walk the first 2 steps and then burst out and, you know, read the defense. He's not going to have that same luxury of that because he doesn't have that same offensive line.
Yeah, that's the key. And that dude's a freak of nature. When I saw his highlight reel, I didn't realize how good he was until I actually sat and watched some of his plays. And he's got a high football IQ for reading the right holes and everything. But it's a concern. The offensive line obviously kind of got picked to pieces this offseason. They didn't draft anybody until like the 3rd or 4th round.
Yeah.
That was it, I think, as far as like bringing offensive linemen in. It kind of reminds me of another team that kind of just got rid of all their offensive linemen and didn't bring much in. But I won't mention them.
Actually, they brought a lot in. But anyways, Steelers looking good. You looked over the schedule. You know, they got a tough game week 2. I'll tell you that.
I thought they had a bye week too.
Oh, okay.
You know, I'll be honest with you. We always travel and do bad when we travel to the Bay Area. Whenever we play San Francisco or now Las Vegas, it's almost a guaranteed loss. I think that game might be in Pittsburgh.
But it's in Pittsburgh, and
that's why I'm confident.
Yeah. It's at 10 a.m. Pacific time, and the Raiders don't do good that time.
Yeah, I think that one. I think we got that one.
And the Raiders will be coming off of a Monday night game against the Ravens.
Oh, yeah. So you'll be kind of banged up and roughed up.
Yeah. I know this because my uncle, he's a fan of the show. What's up? He is a big Steeler fan. So half my family is Steeler fans or 49er fans. I'm like the only Raider fan in the family. So yeah, but Steeler fans, that's why I know a lot about Pittsburgh and I follow Pittsburgh a lot because I watch a lot of their games. But yeah, what do you got a projection on the record yet?
I'm kind of leaning towards a 9 to 10. I was looking at it earlier because you sent me like this little template of what we're going to talk about. And I'm like, let me take another look at that schedule. I feel like they're going to be in that 8 to 10 range. You know, one thing about Tomlin and the Steelers, they play down to their competition and then they play really good versus the teams that they should play good against. So it's hard to tell. Obviously injuries occur and happen. But I think they could be a 9-win, let's say 9-8. And possibly 10. They're going to be scratching. They're going to be in the hunt for that 7th wild card spot.
I can see it. That's kind of where I'm probably going to be around there too. Everyone always is like in the off seasons, every off season, and I'm guilty of it too. In multiple off seasons, last season was the last off season where I was like, I'm not going to predict the Steelers collapse or try and predict it because I don't know when it's going to happen.
They don't play at 500. Yeah.
Everyone's always freaking out. Like this is the year that they go 6-10, or this is the year they go 5-11, and we just keep getting it wrong. So I've given up. When I'm low on the Steelers, I'm putting them at 9 wins or 10 wins.
They get 2 free wins every year against the Bengals. So
that's true.
That kind of throws it off, and you're like, okay, now what? Now let's look what else they have. So the Browns have improved and the Ravens have improved. So you're saying the Steelers might fall to 3rd place?
Yeah, I could see that. That's definitely a possibility. I think they could split with both of those teams. I think they play the NFC North this year. I thought I maybe saw Green Bay and Detroit on there and Minnesota and Chicago. I think they can win 3 out of 4, maybe 2 out of 4, and depending on if Rodgers ends up playing. So they'll be in the mix for sure. Tomlin will have those boys ready. I mean, they didn't have Ben for almost a full year, like 85% of a year, and still almost made the playoffs. And the defense wasn't where it is now. So they'll have an opportunity. I think they'll have just as good a chance as anyone else to get that 6-7 seed.
All 3 of our teams will be right in that picture. Well, the Raiders will be until about week 12, but everyone's going to be in that picture on the screen right now.
They were in the hunt like until they played the Colts, until Josh Jacobs did that ugly fantasy tweet, started messing with people. That's when it went like to hell, because I think they were still in the hunt.
Mike just likes to hate. He likes to hate.
It's an annual thing. You guys
are trying to say that, my team's going to be in the hunt. His team wasn't even in the hunt last year.
You guys go sit. We 1 loss less than you guys, I think. Right?
Still one loss less.
I feel like that one guy that's like at the house party in the living room where a couple's arguing and it's just awkward, but I don't want to get up and leave because then that makes it awkward. So I'm just trying to sip on my wine and just eat some grapes and some cheese and try to act like it's not awkward.
You don't go anywhere till something's thrown.
Yeah, that's it. That's it.
Fine, I'm out.
Hey, so we'll move on to fantasy football. We'll get some of your sleepers, some other stuff from you right now, because hey, that's what you talk, right? That's what you love to do. You got a show about it. We just hit you up with the Steelers earlier. You mentioned a guy. You mentioned Antonio Gibson. A lot of people I've been watching every time I hop on Twitter, every time I hop on social media. A lot of people are building up Antonio Gibson. Me personally, and I think that you said it earlier, I'm not on the Antonio Gibson train
whatsoever. There's so much talent at the end of the second, early third. Like, why would you even entertain that? Let alone he's got turf toe. Like, why even, like, there's so much talent still in the second and third round. Like, why even take the risk? I mean, if people want to do that, that's fine with me. More power to them. That means more talent will fall to me if I draft at the end of in the beginning of the first, at the end of the second, or anywhere in the third. So I'm more power to you guys, for you Gibson truthers.
I don't understand. Has anyone been watching Curtis Samuel? He's basically a running back, guys. He's going to be lining up in the backfield a lot.
Yeah.
Well, do they still have McKisson there? JD McKisson? Yeah. And like he was like one of the top guys out of the backfield last year. I understand. Yeah. I know what people see in Antonio Gibson. I saw it last year. I actually had him. Okay, I don't know if you guys do this. I do some shady stuff. It's not shady, but I do some stuff in fantasy where like you'll have a player that's hot right now, right, Seven? And I'll say, let me trade for him, right? But I know that Mike is in love with that player. But I want somebody from Mike's team. So I'm going to trade with you, get him, and then I'm going to trade him to Mike like 2 days later. Yeah. I already know that. I already set it up in my head. So last year I did that with Antonio Gibson, right? Antonio Gibson was on his hot streak towards the end of the year. I said, I'm going to get him because I want Mike Evans from one of these other guys. And I knew he needed a running back, and I traded him. And then that's the week that Antonio Gibson went down. Yeah, it's not dirty, but I do stuff like that. I do, in my head, it's like a triple trade. It's like a three-way trade.
It's a three-way. I did the same thing last year. I had Keenan Allen. I traded him for Julio, and I didn't even start Julio 1 week. I traded him. He blew up that week, and then he got hurt and missed like almost the rest of the season. I got Clyde Edwards-Helaire for Julio.
It's playing the game.
It's playing the game. It is.
It is a game.
Because I know, like, if Mike played his cards and he let me know that he really in love with Antonio Gibson, and I know that you have him and you're willing to trade him, I'm gonna sneak on in there, get him, and then I'm gonna go to Mike and be like, hey, I know you love this player, so go ahead and send me this guy. Oh man.
Hey, it's insider trading, bro. Hey, you got a text message or you had a conversation with Mike and he just happened to mention Mike Evans. Like, hey, all right, I'm gonna do what I need to do to get Evans and give him Gibson. So I'm all for it.
So we're not buying Gibson. Gibson maybe late third round if he's still there. Maybe, right?
Yep.
It's worth the flyer, but early second round, late second round. Nah, we're good on that, right? You're good on that. Let me ask you this: if Aaron Rodgers is gone from Green Bay, where's Jordan Love?
I don't know if you take him.
It's Jordan Love's season, guys. It's Jordan Love's season.
Gosh.
QB3.
Yeah, cute. Yeah, right. Like
I'm just messing around.
I'll pick him up for a bye week. Week 7's a rough bye week this year. I'll take him for a bye week.
There you go.
Maybe let me look over my shoulder. Maybe they play Detroit. I got to watch out when I mention Detroit because my grandma doesn't play. So maybe they play Detroit.
That door open up right now. Your grandma.
Hey, bro, I see a sandal. Yeah.
But I mean, I'm messing around with Jordan Love. But hey, with Devontae Adams as your wide receiver, it's worth a bye week start every once in a while. Mm-hmm. Who are some of the guys that don't give us away all your secrets because you say you don't want to do that. But who are some guys that some of these newer guys should be targeting in the draft?
All right, I'll give one away. And since we were talking about it earlier, I'm going to go with Juju Smith-Schuster. A lot of people, because of the TikTok antics, a lot of people are down on him. I think in our mock, our 3 Warzone mocks, he's gone 7th round, and 6th round, like late 6th round. I don't know if you guys are aware, but Juju Smith-Schuster was wide receiver 16 in full PPR and wide receiver 18. He was a wide receiver too. And if you can get your running backs early, as we preach on boot camp, maybe get yourself a top 3 quarterback or top 3 tight end, and you have Juju as your wide receiver 2 or as your flex if you're getting them in the 7th round. So I think it's a great value. That's someone who I'm praising. I think last year he had 97 catches, 831 yards, and 9 touchdowns. That's his floor.
Yep.
That's his floor. Wide receiver 17 is his floor. So I think that's a nice sleeper. Michael Carter is someone, a rookie running back for the Jets, someone who I'm really, really big on. I think who can make your season at the end of the year. I'll let you guys jump in real quick.
Michael Carter, we're starting to see him go higher and higher in some of the mock drafts.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm buying Michael Carter. I like Michael Carter. I think you can actually get him pretty late. But I don't know what it is, but I'm always like you. I get my running backs early, then I sit. I think in the last mock draft, I did do that. And I was the one that drafted Juju later on.
You
but
did.
I'm kind of iffy about Steeler wide receivers. There's like some groups like that, like the Steelers, the Buccaneers, the Cowboys. Sometimes those guys, those wide receiver groups kind of scare me when I'm on the clock about them, because you never know. Like Steelers, you don't know if it's Juju's week, if Claypool's week, or Deontay Johnson's week. And then with Dallas, you don't know who's going to go off over there. Is it going to be Cooper? Is it going to be CeeDee Lamb? Mike Evans and Chris Godwin and Antonio Brown, they've been going on and off. So the teams, me personally, I like to take a wide receiver on a crappy team. You know what I mean? So
Allen Robinson.
Yeah, so I wait and I get some of those garbage time points or garbage time touchdowns where like the guy that you're playing in fantasy is like, oh, I'm gonna kick your butt. I'm up by 50 right now, and then the garbage time comes. So like, what's his name? Armand St. Brown.
Yeah.
From Detroit.
Yeah.
From Detroit. I've been reading a lot of good things about him, and that could be a good sleeper for me.
Yeah. Detroit is the 313, and that's exactly how many vacant targets there are with the losses of Galladay and Marvin Jones. So he's going to have opportunity. Another rookie I like is who's I think Bald Guy put an article out on him today. Is it Devonta Smith, Heisman Trophy winner?
Heard of him before.
He's gonna have some opportunity.
Yeah.
And I don't think that Philly is like this world beater. I think they're going to be behind a lot. They do kind of have a half dual threat run first quarterback, but they do have a little bit of chemistry from both being at Alabama. He could be another sleeper, like 9th, 10th round, that could maybe come on later on in the season or guide you through those rough bye weeks.
There's a guy I haven't heard about this offseason, and maybe, I don't know, he just popped in my head for some reason. I haven't even looked him up to see where he's going, if he's even going in some of these drafts, but he just popped in my head. Emmanuel Sanders with Buffalo Bills. Do you think that he would be worth a flyer?
No, because I actually like Cole Beasley a lot better.
Okay.
Cole Beasley is as a security blanket and has chemistry. I like Sanders as like an actual professional. He's a former Steeler. He's talented, but for fantasy purposes, Diggs is that guy, fringe first, second round guy. And then I think Cole Beasley is the next guy up in that offense. And I don't know that a third receiver is worth taking, but I mean, he's going to fill that John Brown void. So you never know.
They also do they still have Gabriel Davis too? I think they do.
I mean, it just popped in my head, and I haven't looked them up this offseason so much.
Kind of long in the tooth.
Let's help Mike. Let's go to one of Mike's teams. And this guy, everything that we've read on him, Mike, so far this year, Mike Williams, is that he's going to take over the Chargers role, and they brought over Lombardi as their offensive coordinator. So he said he's taken the Mike Thomas role in that offense. Are we looking good for Mike Williams in Los Angeles?
I'll let you go, Mike.
Yeah, I'll go. I don't know about the Mike Thomas role because Mike Thomas is like a route runner. We happen to have a guy that's pretty solid at running routes. Where's number 13, not number 81? I'm also scared drafting Mike Williams. I think Mike Williams is going to be good this year, especially being his contract year, and he knows that going into this season. And the Chargers locked in his money. 1 year, $15 million. Guaranteed, that's it. Contract's over. They did that with Melvin Ingram. He's a free agent. They did that with Hunter Henry. He's on a different team. So Mike Williams knows that he is probably heading to free agency unless he has like some crazy 1,200-yard, 10-touchdown season, which he can have. I think he has the potential to have, and him and Herbert had that chemistry. But Mike Williams has not stayed healthy in any of his
Ever.
in his entire career. It's why I wanted us to get Julio Jones so bad, because I have that hindsight. Mike Williams is going to play 11 to 12 games. I already know that. And usually he goes down in that week 12, 13, 14, your fantasy playoff range. That's right around where he starts to get banged up.
Him and Will Fuller are kind of one and the same, where like they'll help you for like 4 or 5 weeks, and then they won't be available for 4 or 5 weeks.
Every time he goes up and catches over 2 guys, or he goes up and makes this crazy one-handed spectacular catch, I'm like just holding on to my breath, because I know he's going to get up with the hobble. He does it every time. He has no regard for his lower body.
I want to say thank you for bringing up Will Fuller because Will Fuller went to the Dolphins and everybody's like, losing their mind. First of all, we don't know what Tua's about. Parker had a bad year last year, or a down year, not the Parker that we thought. And now you're bringing over Will Fuller and thinking that he's going to be the man. I'm not buying anything on that Miami Dolphins offense. Should I change my mind? Can you change my mind to buy one guy?
Gaskins is probably the only one I trust. And for some reason, his ADP is just starting to creep up, because he was kind of 5th round guy, and now he's like mid 4th. I like him like late 4th. If I can go like double running back, stud receiver, or double running back tight end, or double running back quarterback, and then get Gaskins in the 4th, like late 4th. But I don't trust Tua. I don't trust receivers. Gesicki's not bad, but they've got like a lot of quality mouths to feed. Just a lot. Like they got Waddle too. You didn't mention Waddle. Got Fuller, Waddle, Parker, Gesicki. They've got a bunch of just quality, like 2nd tier, 3rd tier guys. There's not like an alpha on the team.
And they're a spread the ball type of offense too. Mm-hmm. It's not like they feed one guy. They're not just going to feed Gesicki. You're going to see Gaskin get a touch. You're going to see Parker get a touch. You're going to see Waddle get 2 grabs on screen plays. You're going to see Fuller probably get a touch, and then it's going to get back around to Gesicki. Like, you're not going to see one person dominating every single week like you see with like Darren Waller on the Raiders.
Right.
Something like that, yeah.
And Lynn Bowden. Don't forget about Lynn Bowden over there in Miami.
Oh, yeah.
Let's be honest. No one really trusts Tua except for my co-host.
Yeah.
Hey, if he lets me go, you guys got to pair me up with someone. Don't let me. Hopefully he tunes out after like the 10-15 minute mark and doesn't make it this far in the interview. But yeah, I'm still the verdict out. He's healthy. He was a rookie. There was COVID. He has a full camp. He's got weapons. This year he's got to perform. So I'll give him an incomplete. But I'm not putting my rep on Tua.
No, he's really got to perform, because when Deshaun Watson gets cleared of all this crap that he's going through right now, and whatever, if he's guilty or innocent, whatever happens with it, when it's all over and said and done, we're going to know if Tua's the real deal or not. And Miami is probably one of the best suitors as far as being able to trade for him. So he better step up this year. There should be some pressure on him.
I'll hit you with one last one. The Tennessee Titans offense. A.J. Brown, Julio Jones, Derrick Henry, and Ryan Tannehill. All of them should be draftable, right?
Yeah.
Who are you taking first? Let me just start there.
Well, I definitely got to take the running back first. And I think he's the biggest winner of that trade. I mean, now how do you got to pick your poison. You either put 8 in a box or you don't. So you're going to get cooked either way. I think maybe he gets less carries this year, but maybe has a higher yard per carry average. So Derrick Henry is a big winner. Obviously, AJ Brown is still a 2nd rounder in my book. Julio, if you watched a football boot camp, I don't trust the current ADP for Julio as a late 3rd. I'd rather him mid to late 4th.
You and Piggy went at it about it, because Piggy's different.
Yeah.
But I was trying to see.
I nuzzled him and put him to bed. He thought he was going to get a confrontation, and I just Spurs basketball. I just slow played it and half court offense, and just put that little piggy right to sleep with that.
I was just seeing that with the trade to Tennessee, if you were going to raise Julio just a little bit.
I mean, they're not a passing team. They're a run first team. That's their dynamic, and the quarterback is talented. He's good. He's not great. I almost would say he's above average, but Tannehill's an efficient thrower. He does throw a pretty deep ball, but it's not Matt Ryan where they're throwing the ball 45 times a game. So yeah, he can absorb a lot of the vacant targets, but I feel like you can get that same Julio production, not to also mention that he's 32 and he's just older, and he's only played out of 10 years in the NFL. He's only played 16 games 4 times. So he's going to miss, more than likely, he's going to miss at least 1 or 2 weeks. I think you can get similar production from like a Robert Woods or Adam Thielen in the 5th round, or even a Cooper Kupp. And I don't know. I mean, I don't like the ADP, but I like him later. And I don't
like Julio Jones, but not high in the draft.
Yeah, exactly.
You want him as your wide receiver 3 or like low end wide receiver 2.
See, I'm hoping this. I know Ryan Tannehill stole a lot of Derrick Henry. Derrick Henry still had a ton of touchdowns last year, but he stole some of his touchdowns rushing. So I'm kind of hoping to steal Ryan Tannehill, or like Tom Brady, the GOAT, as Brian Bolson would say, later on in the draft, hopefully like 8th or 9th round, because I don't like to draft quarterbacks early. I do sometimes in mock drafts, but I rarely ever do in real life drafts. So I'm hoping to get one of those two, and Tannehill's kind of the guy that I'm going to target.
Yeah, I think we can lock Tannehill in the top 10 now.
He finished top 10 the last 2 years. So, I mean, he can only get better. Maybe he go makes the jump to like 7, 8.
That'd be awesome, especially where you can get him.
Yeah,
I'm a Derrick Henry truther myself. I actually really, really, really love Derrick Henry just because I like that safe bet. You know, we got the questions with Christian McCaffrey's health. You got the questions with Saquon's health. Even Zeke has his own question marks. I always like that safe bet that Derrick Henry is probably going to get me 1,500 to 1,800 yards and be an RB1.
Oh, there he is, King Henry.
King Henry.
Yeah.
I'll take less points just for that safety net, that feeling that he's going to be there and get me 25 each week or 20.
You know, and you can always trade for someone else later down the road. I think it's so important just to get off to a good start, especially in fantasy. You know, you get off to a 3-1 start and you see a guy there 1-3, 0-4, then you can start throwing your flex for his wide receiver too, and then you can start just, you know, taking advantage. That's going to be another commandment, taking advantage of the people who start off. Yeah, so I won't give away too much.
Don't give it away. 7, you have done an awesome job. I appreciate everything you've come on and said. Fantasy Football Bootcamp every Saturday right here on the Warzone Sports Network. If you guys also want a Fantasy Football Bootcamp shirt, head on over to the WarzoneSportsNetwork.com. It's there.
Yes, sir. Yeah, I'm gonna get a few. I get paid tomorrow, so I'll probably rock that Tony Tucker one and maybe a Space Force, and then get the boot camp. Eventually, I like Thanos. Like you see me in that boot camp. Yeah, I need to get all 6 Warzone shirts.
So guys, we buy our own shirts. We're not there yet. So if you guys want to get us there, you guys want to get us a step closer, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and send this to your family and friends and help us out that way. So all of us can be there one day and we don't have to buy our own shirts.
The shirts are in that pretty teal also. I love the color.
No, yeah, there's an alternate scheme.
I love it. I wear the shirt all the time. We do a show. You got some behind you.
Yeah. The Thad Castle is not available, by the way.
But yeah, you stepped into the Warzone 7. You did great. Find him at 7 o'clock. It's on Instagram. You guys will see it on the screen. You guys can find him, hit him up, ask him his fantasy advice. You did an awesome job, 7. I appreciate you coming on. Mike, see you on Friday night.
Take care, gentlemen. Thank you.